This is Hannibal and Piper here from thehannibaltv.com with a daily wrestling news update before I head off to hit the gym. Logan Paul had what was reported as a very good match yesterday for WWE's Crown Jewel pay-per-view, although he suffered a knee injury during his match against Roman Reigns. Apparently, he tore his MCL, meniscus, and ACL during the match and could potentially be out up to a year. All the results were pretty much predictable from what I read. Roman Reigns, who WWE still has a hard on for, like to keep pushing, even though his gimmick is pretty stale at this point, defeated Logan Paul. Jake Paul came out and beat the Usos up at one point during the match. Jimmy Uso apparently has a wrist injury, by the way. Brock Lesnar beat Bobby Lashley, which no one is probably surprised at. And Drew McIntyre beat Karrion Kross in their bout. In AEW news, I did tell you guys in my Wrestling Observer review that I forgot to write down the attendance for AEW Dynamite this week in Baltimore. They had 2,500 paid Wednesday in Baltimore, and apparently production is on the way for the Dynamite behind the scenes show. They've started taping them at their TV tapings. Jason says hello. My day is pretty good. It's still warm here, which is nice. It was colder in September than it is in November here, so I'm happy about it. And if any of you watch Crown Jewel, write down your opinions. I'm glad I did watch the highlights of the Logan Paul, Roman Reigns match. And he did do a lot of high-risk moves. Apparently, from all the reports, he's winning the smart marks over. A lot of fans were initially upset that he was being brought in and given all these opportunities. But the reason is he's extremely popular. I think he has like 6 million Twitter followers. His podcast, the Impulsive Podcast, is one of the most popular podcast in the world, if not the most popular, right up there with Joe Rogan, and he appeals to a younger audience. So whether you like him or not, he brings attention to WWE. They need stars, and he's a star since they can't. The biggest star they've made since John Cena and Brock Lesnar is Roman Reigns, who is not as popular mainstream as Cena or Lesnar, which is funny because when I was watching the highlights of the Roman Reigns Logan Paul match, Michael Cole did say he's approaching greatest of all time status. I don't know what basis that would be. I do admit he's a very good wrestler. I'm not hating on him. He's a good wrestler, but he's been one of the most shoved down our throats wrestlers of all time. I mean, he hasn't reached The Rock status, Steve Austin, John Cena's, Brock Lesnar's. He is one of their top guys. I'm not doubting that, and he's their most successful guy from Florida Championship Wrestling. But to call him the greatest of all time, I don't think he's reached Ric Flair status, and I'm sorry about that. But because the results were so predictable, I was initially interested in watching the pay-per-view, but after I read the results, I wasn't. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's only my opinion. I hope some of you guys out there watched it and enjoyed. Tim said that Logan is pretty good for someone that only wrestled 3 matches. And the one advantage that he has is like these are matches that are practiced, and he's got a ring in his backyard. Shane Helms has been personal training him at the Performance Center too. So when you have and he has great charisma. That's why he's so popular. But when you have all that personal training and people making sure you have a good match, it makes a difference. But at the same time, he could have been a flop. There's been many wrestlers that have been flops that have been put in those situations. So, Jason, I I appreciate your kindness, but my wrestling days are over. I sold my wrestling boots. My wrestling days are over. I want to do more interviews, and this is a lot easier than wrestling. And yeah, Tom, you're right. Shawn Michaels has also been coaching him. So if you have Shawn Michaels coaching you, that makes a big difference as well. Although he is a coach at the Performance Center, and there hasn't been too many homegrown stars from NXT yet. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not